Hey YouTube. Well, subject is Dr. Coon Carson. Well, you guys already heard this. Heard all the commentary, so I'm not gonna belabor that. But I was I was opposed to Carson beginning to head HUD, and here's why. Because a person is a neurosurgeon, we assume this person is brilliant. He's bright, but brilliant doesn't spill over into all areas. Now, just because Donald Trump is, well, according to what he says, a brilliant businessman or builder, that does not translate to him to being an appropriate and a good president, or to have the same. It's not the same skill set to be a businessman, a ruthless businessman, and to be the president. Trump put this child in office because he was loyal to him in this campaign, or he came over to his side. Ben Carson had nothing to do with housing. He has no knowledge of that. So if Ben Carson no knowledge of the urban plight, or he's very disconnected from poverty or the struggles of urban America. If Ben Carson doesn't know the difference between being an immigrant to the United States and being a slave to the United States, what are the chances of him going from being a retired neurosurgeon to running the federal government's program on housing, one of the biggest programs in the White House? It's not even logical. There are tons of people who are smart at one thing. Because a person is a brilliant basketball player, does not necessarily translate to him to being a brilliant tennis player. You know, he's got all these people in the White House. Most of them are not even politicians, don't even know anything about politics. Then he got the Secretary of State, another businessman who was successful at business, running an oil company. And so that qualifies him to be the Secretary of State. You know, we messed this up so bad, people. I'm sorry, but I mean, Hillary Clinton had 30 years of experience, and we traded that in for this hack who doesn't even respect the system enough to put the appropriate people in the right jobs. Now, I know I'm supposed to be in here talking about Carson, but it's just that's just part of the story. Ben Carson. I have a problem because it seems like every time I get on YouTube, I'm complaining about some black person, and it makes me a little uncomfortable. And I'm trying to wonder why is that. I think it may be just because I'm just more connected to the plight of black people, or I understand black people better, or I feel more connected to our stories. Because everybody he has in the White House, I don't like. I definitely don't like Omarosa. Ben Carson, I think he is out of his league. He don't know what just the. I mean, some of the stupid shit that Ben Carson has said, not only about being choosing to be a homosexual, but things he said about trans people. But the thing, I mean, this statement, this latest faux pas his, to compare a slave with an immigrant. I'm sure that those children that was been brought over here by their parents sold into slavery the parents did not have the gleam in their eye about what their family members were going to be the president. They just didn't want to die. And this man made it all the way through all these universities, all these degrees, with that kind of. I guess it would take that kind of dullness of the mind to become a black Republican in the first place. But that's another video. Because you fucked up. I don't know how he's gonna be in the head of the. I'm hoping that this dude is not gonna get in there and start cutting housing for poor people, which is a lot of us, and I'll include myself in that also. All the programs for housing, because he obviously has no. He's very disconnected from our plight as minority people in this country who use a lot of the housing, and he's in charge of it. I think Trump just wanted to get a figurehead in there, somebody, a puppet, because he is in the building business. Trump is. Remember, his whole life has been real estate and all this kind of stuff. So I'm sure he'll have a hand in it, and the way they can cut out housing for minority people in this country and make it harder for them. They want to cut out the health care. Everybody pull themselves up by their bootstrings. Well, it's bootstraps. It's very easy to pull yourself up by your bootstraps when your father is running, Fortune 500 companies, or own the stores, or own the restaurants, or own every goddamn thing. It's very easy when you have two parents, a dog, and a sister at home, and you're from a traditional family like that, and you've had a tremendous amount of support. It's very easy when you're making 6 figures a year. Very easy when you got bachelor, master's, then doctorate. Yeah, in those circumstances, hell yeah, you can pull yourself by your bootstraps. Shit, you got straps to pull. Well, you don't have nothing. It's not. I mean, this White House is a disaster. I popped up this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning. Now you don't get up until 8 to take our dog out, right? Guess why I popped up? To see what the latest episode was bringing. What the fuck has Donald Trump done now? It's just like a reality show. That's what it's like. Now you got all these fools running around here, and I don't envy them jobs either, trying to explain why it was okay for him to do what he did on Saturday morning, to accuse Barack Obama of committing felonies, wiretaps, right before he leaves office. Like, who in the fuck would do something like that? You jeopardize the rest of your life for what? To help Hillary? Come on. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. And they have to get in there and defend it. So it's just watching them tap dance all day long. It's just awful. So anyway, I want to come in here and just give a comment about this. I know I should have got on it yesterday, but Ben Carson and their wife is. I'm sure they're a lovely couple, but they got no business in the White House representing the head of the HUD program. What has that got to do with digging in people's brains? I mean, what? If he hasn't learned that we were not immigrants here, and he's 50 years old, what are the chances of him getting in the HUD and then learning the HUD system in a couple of weeks? Because he just thrust them right in the head of it. This Trump dude. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, people. So Carson, you messed up. You need to read up on your. I guess you just skipped those history classes. But how could you not know that? I mean, a slave is like bringing over your cattle. No immigrant. Nobody planning to be in here and planning on no picket fence. Those are American dreams. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad we're here. And we our blood of our ancestors in this soil. We have definitely earned our right to be here in this country. But it wasn't a pretty picture. Ain't nothing immigrant dream about it. It's totally unique. It's a unique history in this country. So I would hope that he would. And then it kills me the way they don't ever want to just apologize, educate themselves, and let it go. It's always got to be defending what they said. Well, do you know what an immigrant is? If you come from the out to the in, just the idiots, just an idiot. I used to run into these guys on the street all the goddamn time. I would go to these guys. They would start doing drugs, and they had lost their apartment, lost their car, and all that kind of shit. And then they end up on the street and just dumb as a box of rocks. I mean, just ripped all. I said, you gave that motherfucker your money? And then here I am, didn't even finish high school, running down and explaining to these motherfuckers about the streets. You don't give nobody smoking peanuts and shit, girl. Okay. I don't know, what do you think about it? Okay. Carson, you messed up. You need to just say it, and Lord, I hope they get the right people under you to run that up. This is an important office in the White House. It's very disturbing to me that you're in that job, and particularly because you didn't want it. Didn't even want it. He didn't want it. He had no interest in urban blight at all. Nothing. They want to be Republicans. They want to be white. All right. Goodbye.